When presidents sign orders, they put on a show. They invite cameras to ceremonies and issue press releases. They pose for photos with activists, politicians, and special interests. Today, these executive actions are normal in the United States and most of the rest of the world. Import taxes, the legal status of nearly 1 million immigrants, the public funding of abortion, carbon emissions, bailouts for farmers, border wall construction, and other life-altering policies all seem to be at the whims of the president. That fact is missing from what we teach kids about democracy. You will not find the appropriate scope of executive actions in the text of the Constitution, and remarkably little about how they happen enumerated by any law. So what explains these actions? And what do they tell us about the American presidency, or American democracy in general? This book is my answer. Start with 2 facts. First, despite relentless fighting among the major political parties in the United States, executive action is increasingly embraced by both Democrats and Republicans alike, politicians, pundits, and voters. All tend to think presidents should act alone if Congress is in the way or not doing its job, whatever that means. For people who want to be president, this is the literal promise of their oath of office, to change policy to the extent of their ability, not to the extent of their power. It is no surprise, then, scholars are interested in this unilateral presidential power. They have counted it, said it is more important than ever, and jumped to explain it. Next to the rise of political polarization and the decrease in Congress's productivity, their explanations confirm current folk wisdom. Congress is broken, so the president steps in to get things done. This is the first fact. It is well known. Executive action is on the rise, and it is more important than ever. The second fact is less well known. After some of these actions, almost nothing happens. No policies change. No status quo is challenged. Commissions are formed, non-binding and inconsequential reports issued. Bureaucrats make minor changes to what they had planned to do, but even those might be superficial or symbolic. In stunning contrast to the flurry of news coverage and the Oval Office photo op, the government, and everyone else, goes on doing what they were doing before the order, leaving whatever problem the order was supposed to solve unaddressed. Our politics hide this fact, but it is obvious once you start looking. President Barack Obama, for example, signed an order to fund research on gun violence. Almost no research was funded. He also signed orders to close the prison at Guantanamo Bay. Before the ink was dry, most of the prisoners held there had already been transferred or released, and over a decade later it is still open. President Donald Trump signed an order to release military equipment to police departments around the country. Almost none of it was given out. President George H.W. Bush signed an order protecting giant sequoias. Logging continued. Examples are everywhere.